Hello, YouTube. This is an alcohol review of Beer Barrel Bourbon by the New Holland Distillery, I believe. New Holland Spirits, I apologize. There we go. It's American, let's see, white oak barrels, distilled by New Holland, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, 750 ml bottle. And let's see, Beer Barrel Bourbon. Now, it states right here on the label, and very difficult to read, bourbon whiskey finished in oak beer barrels, which had my antennas going because to be a bourbon, it has to be in brand new white American oak barrels. Well, there is a loophole, it seems. It says here New Holland Spirits, whiskey, gin, rum, vodka, brandy since 2005. Beer barrel bourbon rested in new oak barrels for 3 months before a 3-month beery slumber. So this puppy is, if I do my math, carry the 2 minus 5, square root of 4, 6 months. 6 months this sucker has been aging, which is awfully young, considering it's rested in new oak barrels for 3 months. And beery slumber. Yeah, before A3. Rested in new... Well, actually, it could be longer, because this here, rested in new oak barrels, comma. So the time period is a varying range. Before 3-month beery slumber. Now, I could have done research on this, but it was such a nice day outside, I want to do the review first. So, research... What's research? I mean, really. So anyways, think of this is a bourbon that has rested in beer barrels for 3 months. Now, as we know, there is a whiskey out there, an Irish whiskey, called Cask Mates. It's a series in which they use IPA barrels as well as stout barrels, and use those to help age their whiskeys in. I have tried the stout and found it to be lacking. I hate to say it. I was really hoping for a better body, better nose quality, better anything. It was just Irish whiskey with a slight change in the flavor. I'm wondering about the IPA, but then again, I'm not an IPA fan. I prefer my stouts and whatnot, so I've been a little shy to give that a try, as well as the fact that there is a bit of a cost involved. I know compared to other whiskeys, if you look at them, it's hardly anything, but I'm a working man, and budget is everything at this state of society. Alrighty here. We have, after multiple swishes around, tears up fairly quickly, fairly nicely. Long legs, as it were. The nose is incredible. And I don't mean just to say because I like to give a positive review on things. There's a reason for the positive review part, believe it or not. But to be quite honest, man, it has a wonderful nose. You do get a hint of the bourbon. You get like a little bit of that ethanol in there, the burn, as it were, of the alcohol that you're going to expect. The bourbony smell, which has the caramel to it. But really, it's just a fantastic nose. There's different layers of fruit all the way through. You get lemon, you get orange. Usually I get some sort of stone fruit, which is my way of saying I can't think of the word apricot. So anytime you see my reviews and I go, oh, it's stone fruit, it's because I can't remember the word apricot at the time. And there's no apricot. Because I think I get apricot because you mix the different bourbon smells with the alcohol, and lo and behold, apricot, stone fruit. But this, vanilla and sugary and lemons and oranges. The nose is absolutely paradise, and compared to countless bourbons I've tried in the past. I mean, I could end this review just by saying the nose alone makes it worth it. Now, the taste, very peculiar. You get a hint of burn. It nips your tongue. There's not a whole lot of bite, just a nip. You get a bit of the heat in the throat. The flavor is what you would expect a bourbon to be like. It is that bit of a bitter, bourbony, I guess you could say, which I don't really is describing much, but a bourbony, oh, geez. Your apricot comes into it. Think of all the fruits that you smell in the nose in a dehydrator. So it's tampered down and thickened with a bit of a bittery to it for the aging process. If you're the type of, I myself get that when I smell anything that's been dehydrated. But so yeah, you get that in the nose on this right away. But not in the nose, on the palate. The nose is like fresh fruit. The palate is like it's been dehydrated with bourbon. Now the funny part, funny ish, if you will, is that if you let it sit long enough on your palate, you do get beer. My roommate, who spent much of her time globetrotting around the world and likes to hail from Arkansas, though she's really a California girl, but she hails from Arkansas. Long, painful story. But she reflects back to the moonshiners and those who are making their own spirits in the darkest hollers of Arkansas. And right away, she can taste the beer coming through on this. I taste it when all the other flavors start to tamper down. About 2/3 of the way through that, actually 1/3 of the, no, 2/3 of the way through that, you start getting beer. And when it's finally off the palate, you swear there's a ghost of a beer. Now, we're talking IPA or stout or none of that. It's more like just general hops. Just kind of wisping away in the back of the palate. Give it a try. See what you think. This is Beer Barrel Bourbon by the New Holland Spirits Company. There you are. Any comments down below about this particular product, we warmly accept it, as always. Or better yet, go out, buy it, try it yourself. See what you think. I said that ghost of beer with all the kind of dehydrated fruits mixed in with the bourbon makes wonderful layers. And the nose itself is just the nose itself is fantastic. But like I said, try it, review it, let the rest of us on the YouTube community know your thoughts about Beer Barrel Bourbon. There you go, from New Holland. And as always, keep on drinking.